Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a detour in video 7 here. So what we're going to do is before we get into layouts, creating layouts, I'm going to have us create an actual mock-up in Figma. So this is kind of where we left off in the last video. Everything's one column. We've got our header section. We've got our hero section. We have our main content with 4 items, and then we have our footer section. So before we actually start coding this in HTML and CSS, I'm going to have us lay this out in Figma. So if you haven't already, you'll have to create an account in Figma. It's free, free for life, which is great for individuals. So here is what we're going to do. I already created a portfolio site, but what you can do is you can just click create new team, put in a team name. I'm just going to put test, and then click skip for now. And then we'll do free, up to 2 editors and 3 projects, 30-day revision history, unlimited storage. So we're just going to choose starter because that's free. And then once you have created your team, you can create a new project by clicking new project here up in the corner. Okay. And then you can name the project portfolio site. Figma is really a great piece of software because, and I'll just start from scratch with you all. So we'll just call this portfolio site. Because it allows you to do both low fidelity and high fidelity mockups. So if you're someone that's really comfortable in Photoshop or something like that, you can easily create a high fidelity mockup, meaning you can make it look exactly like what you want the design to be. And the closer it looks to how you want the design to be, the easier it is with HTML and CSS. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to click new file, and then we're going to click blank canvas and then create file. Okay. So this is our blank canvas. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a screen. So hit F on your keyboard or click this little hashtag sign here and select a screen size. We want a desktop, and I'm just going to do MacBook Pro because that's the kind of computer that I'm on right now. So I'm just going to put landing page. I'm going to rename this to landing page. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually create a layout grid. So click the layout grid menu here, click the grid button, and then select columns. Now, we typically design our grids on 12 columns. So we're going to do 12 column grid. We're going to do 16 pixels of margin and 16 pixels of gutter. We're going to match typical design layouts here. So this is our 12 column grid. Each of these pink rectangles represents a column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So we're going to turn on our column here, and you can design this however you want. I'm going to quickly just kind of walk through and show you how to design it based on our sample site, which is, this is kind of where we're at right now with that. So I'm going to create basically a pretty low fidelity mockup. And because this is just the above the fold content really, I'm going to make the height of this document much bigger. So I'm going to I'm going to double the height for now. So I'm going to change this 900 to 1800. And so we're going to have plenty of space to work with in our mockup. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the R button for rectangle, or you can click the rectangle button. And I'm just going to draw our heading, our site header area. I probably want this about 100, let's say 130 pixels. And so I'm just going to put some placeholder text in here. I'll click the text button and then you can draw a rectangle, and I'm just going to go, logo goes here, and you can resize. And then you can line these up using the guides in Figma. And we're going to put our navigation here on the right. So I'm going to click T for text, and I'm going to draw another box that goes from here to here. And I'm going to just put about me, portfolio, and contact. And then I am going to space these out quite a bit more. Oops. I think that's good for now. And I'm going to change the font size to 18 because right now it was 36 pixels, and that's huge. So I'm going to resize this box here, and we're going to move this to make sure it lines up. Everything's lined up good. Okay, so in, we're going to then put our hero section. And so I will click R to create another rectangle. And I will make it, let's see, I'm going to make it 450 pixels tall. And you can actually just set the height of the rectangle there. And I am going to add some placeholder text. Lamb design, or Chris Lamb, let's see, web designer, web developer, technical communicator. So just a tagline. And then let's make this obviously a little bigger, and if you click escape, you can then move your thing around, and I think we're probably going to want it right there. I think that looks good. And I'm just going to resize this. I think that's good. Cool. So that's my hero section, and you can even put like background color. I think we had chosen a background color. I'm not exactly sure what color this is, but I'm going to copy this hex code. In Figma, you can even change the background color, which is cool. And you can change the color of the text to be white so that we can make it look a little bit nicer. And then if you wanted to see what it actually looked like, we could, how do I get back? Oh, here we go. So if you click on the actual frame itself, landing page, you could turn the grid off and see what it actually looks like. In this, we probably want to make the default background color is kind of gray. We're going to make it white for now. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to click back into my frame, and I'm going to turn my grid back on. Okay, so here's the fun part. Now, we're going to basically create two, we're basically going to create portfolio pieces that are 50% or half of the width of our entire website. So since we've got 12 columns, half of 12 is 6. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a portfolio piece that spans 6 columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to make it kind of squarish. So I think that looks good. Yeah, I think that looks good. So what I'll do here is I'm going to just duplicate this. So if you can just Control C, Control V, or Command C, Command V, and you can literally just drag these. Oops, CV, and you can make four of them. Control C, Control V. Placeholders for 4 of them. And then obviously we want, if we click back into our landing page frame, we need to make this taller. So let's make this 2500 pixels tall just to give it more breathing room. Okay, so this is where our 4 portfolio pieces would go. And you can actually add in the image, you can drop in the images pretty easily. I think if you just literally, if I just literally drag in, you could do it that way, or if you, I'm going to delete that. I think if you right click a rectangle and you do, there's like a place image. Let's see. Let's see. Place image. Okay. Yeah, so if you, it's Command Shift K, or Control Shift K if you're on a Windows machine. But if you do place image and you select the image that you want, I think you can just place it in there and it crops it perfectly for you, which is super cool. So you could do that for each of these, and you can do more than one actually. So I'm going to select 3 images, and I'm just going to go 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Look how cool that is. All right. And I think I want to have space underneath each of these for the details of the project. So I'm going to move these down a little. And I'm going to hit T for text. And then I'm going to add some text to each of these. So project 1, sample project. So we'll just put the title here, and then I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, 24 pixels. And probably bold this. And then maybe some information about the project. So project 1, maybe like tools used, Photoshop, Figma, and HTML, CSS, or something like that. Okay. So I'm just going to Control C on each of these descriptions and drag them over. So that we're not wasting time here. Project 3. And project 4. Cool. So this is actually probably more detail than we need. Like we probably didn't need to label it and things like that. But I just wanted to give us sort of a starting point. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll put our footer here in the bottom. So I'll hit R for rectangle. And I will put our footer rectangle here on the bottom. And I'm going to just fill this in with dark gray. We'll make the footer dark gray. And I'm not going to put any of the actual text in there. So this is like a real rough, quick mock-up of our homepage, what we want our homepage to look like. So if we want to actually look at this without the grid on, we can get a better idea of what it is going to look like. We can center this up a little, clean it up a little, and I think it looks, you know, pretty good. It's not the most amazing, mind-blowing design in the world, but I think it looks pretty good. So now we can, in the next video, take this design and we can turn it into we can use HTML and CSS along with a framework called Bootstrap, and we can turn this into a fully working website. So that's what we'll do in the next one.